Yo, what's going on? It is the morning of IWJG, and I'm super excited, can hardly sleep. But now getting up, getting to it, and looking to get some great experiences here, and hopefully some even better footage. IWJG, here we go. Hello, and welcome back to my temporary boudoir at the beautiful Luxor for IWJG Las Vegas, day number 1 recap. I got out of the the apartment, the hotel on time, stopped at Starbucks, figured I'd get some go-go juice in me. No local coffee shops that I could source between here and there. I had to walk over to Tropicana. Ended up having to take a cab back because I came out of that. These casinos are an absolute mess. You go in one way, you come out the other. It's like, oh, forget about it. You're going to need a flight, get back to your own hotel. But I've got some notes and some observations on the day, and I'm so glad I did it. So glad I had opportunity to, become incorporated to get in there and do this, that, and the other thing. Ran into Paul, Gavin, Spencer on their way in and had a great chat with them. Got to go around with Paul a little bit, just talked some shop with Gavin, who's a super cool guy, producer Gavin, and ran into Tim and his crew as they were coming in as well. So looking forward to having a beverage with them later this evening. But this episode wanted to give some insight into what it's like to go to one of these shows. I've been trying to get in forever. If you look back in the channel videos, I went to that one in New York, but that was purely retail. And I gotta be straight with you, this one felt quite nearly as retail. There were good sellers and bad sellers, and I could tell the difference. There's a lot of inconsiderate, selfish people in attendance who just barge right past you if you're looking at a case. Whereas if I go up in a case, I'll just, oh, excuse me, And I guess it's like anything in life. You got good and bad apples no matter where. And let's be honest, I'm a small potato. And these are some heavyweight guys. It's not amateur hour. But yeah, there was probably, near as I can tell, there were 6 rows and maybe 4 setups deep and 4 setups per setup. So somewhere between 85, 90 dealers. And the prices are pretty much over the map. There was some significant watches there. I think all of the Rolexes were there, like all of them. Patek, Audemars Piguet. Saw a really great Arnold & Son. It was beautiful. Talked to Roman at his shop just about the watches there. And at least 2 of the dealers had the Omega 007 titanium there, and they were asking $9,000. I was in the Omega dealer yesterday, and it was $8,500. I don't know. Are these on shortage? Are these not available readily? Because I could have got it right out of the AD for $8,500, and that was before negotiating. Not that I would maybe have gotten any money off that. It was $8,500, $8,700. The point being, it was not $9,000. Highlights. Well, first of all, the staff. The staff was tremendous. Just wonderful people running the IWJG. And the security guard, she was gorgeous. And I chatted her up a little because I had cause to come in and out. Epically beautiful. I mean, there were other staff security guards that were more, I guess she was more of a door operator because she wasn't strapped. Or there were a couple dudes in there strapped. Yeah, she was really quite lovely. I may have to say hello to her tomorrow. All right, highlights. You know me, I like the wild cards, the odd ducks. The Hublot Ferrari watch. Hilarious. You want to talk about a statement piece. In fact, I got to talk to Paul about that when I see him because he's often looking for a statement piece. You get no bigger statement on your wrist than a Hublot Ferrari with that huge, engine block looking thing, and you actually get a drill with it to adjust it and to wind it, because I think it's got some absurd month-long power reserve, like 50 days or something like that. Absurd. I wanted to take it out and try it on, but I had the sense that these folks, they don't suffer fools at these events. You know, a couple people suffered my curiosity and let me take a couple pieces out to take photos, namely the Bob Marin desk. I didn't speak with Bob himself. He's a well-known collector, watch dealer. You've seen him on Roman's channel. Super cool dude. Amazing stock. He had the most unique, amazing pieces. But the fellow working with him, super cool guy. He let me try stuff on, let me take pictures. The two that were really spectacular from Bob's were the Tudor Monte Carlo, which is the from the 70s. Love the watch, love the way it fit. That glass, though, the magnifier at 6 o'clock. Ugh. The first thing I would do is I would swap that crystal out for no magnifier, but then boom, no more vintage value in it. I have my modern day Tudor, the reissue. This one wears slightly better, but not better enough in thinness to warrant spending. I didn't ask the price. I don't ask a price for something unless I'm in the market for it. I want to be respectful of the fact that this is their livelihood, and I'm a bit of a hobbyist. Then he had a Smurf GMT, and I don't even know if that's, I think it's Blueberry. I think they call it Blueberry GMT. Basically, it's a vintage Rolex GMT with an all blue insert. Theo and Harris did an excellent episode on this watch years ago. If I can find it, I'll link it. But the word around the campfire is that maybe these are real and maybe they're not. Because it's not an official release in any of the archives, but there's a bunch of them out there. And, as I think Christians speculate and others have speculated, that if there were some real ones, they're out there. But if there were some non-real ones, they're also out there. I mean, if you're getting it from Bob, I imagine it would be a real one. Just that the history of it is relatively unknown. What I like to do, as you know, when I roll up on any sales booth, I ask pricing about watches that I know the value of in order to vet the dealer. If how far off course are they? Have they perceived me as being so amateur that they're going to throw wild numbers out? Are they irritated I asked? Anything like that? And based on that, I can tell if it's someone I can work with. And I met at least 3 or 4 genuine seeming, well-intentioned dealers. And I met some people that were, sharks. And I guess you're going to have that in any industry. So I was talking to this one fellow about a Tudor Submariner, 36 millimeter, which I kind of want to get. Right now they're cruising at 4,500 to 5,500 out of the JDM in various conditions, and he was asking 32, so I might have to go back. If I could get it for 27, I would love it at 25. I think 20, maybe I'll just go back and float him an offer at 25, see what he says. These are petite wearing relative to what you'd expect for a Submariner case, but a 36 Tudor wears larger than an Omega Seamaster 36. Omega Seamaster 36 millimeters, it wears 36 to small. I've seen those. So if you're out there considering what they call the mid-size or even a boy's watch whenever they list it on eBay, if you need to try one to see if it's going to work for you. That watch, that 36 millimeter Omega, you'd have to be at 6 1/4 inches or under, and more towards under, in order for you to find that palatable. But this one, pretty good condition. I'd love to crack it open and take a look at the movement. It's an ETA 2824, but I don't know. I might make a move on it. I'm probably going to make a move on it. Maybe I'll just roll heavy. Maybe I'll just pull off 25 Crispies and see if that works. I'm going to sleep on it. I got at least one more day. I I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to stay through to Wednesday. I miss hanging out with my boy G Money, making videos out in LA. All right, the main event, Explorer 1. Oh, I really want to get one of those, as you know. Had a fabulous conversation with the representative at the boutique in Las Vegas. Not an AD, but the boutique. His name's Joel. Super cool guy. We actually talked watches. We talked watches to the same degree I talked watches with Andy and my hometown AD. I just need Joel to not retire like my guy did. But an actual genuine interaction between people who like watches. That doesn't happen often for me. Most of the people I meet at ADs are the people who are word around the campfire. They want you to buy a bunch of other stuff, become a client of registration, and blah, 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 blah. Joel cared that I liked watches, that I was interested in the Rolex brand. And that was refreshing. If nothing else, made a new watch bro, got to talk watches. But it seemed like if I was apt to get one at retail, that he may be someone who would be in a position to sell me one. Now, I did not focus on 36 millimeter Explorers at the show today. They were there. New ones, old ones. I got to experience the 39 millimeter Explorers, which was always in the back of my mind. Maybe I should get that one. So we're talking about the 214-720, and there's the Mark 1 dial, and there's the Mark 2 dial. The Mark 1 dial, which was the very first one that came out after they transitioned from 36 millimeters to 39, still has the handsets from the 36, which is to say they look very, very peculiarly tiny. And the Mark II dial, which has some dial variances, but it's mainly the lume on the indices, has the regular handset. Basically the same handset that's on the Explorer 2 Polar, and it's appropriately sized lengthwise and thickness on that dial. And it was really funny as I was going around asking prices. They were like, some people $8,000, another fellow $10,000, which is a lot of money, but in the open market, those are going for 13 and 15. It's a lot of money. It's way out of my comfort zone. But if you're ever going to get one, get it while the getting's good. But nearly everyone I saw had the Mark 1. And I'm talking to this one dealer who didn't know there was a difference. So I'm engaging him. He saw me. He came up to me because we chatted. He's like, hey, how much you want to do for this? I'm like, well, how much you go there? It's like $8,000. I'm like, oh, that's a good price. Let's have a look at it. Sure enough, I saw so many of these things. Sure enough, it was indeed the Mark 1. And he didn't know there was a difference. And so he hands it over to his buddy. And he's like, no, this is the 39. I'm like, sir, I know it's the 39, but it has the hands from the 36. He's like, what are you talking about? And so I had to take a moment of a teaching moment. And then he's like, oh, I don't know the little nuances that well. I'm like, well, okay, you deal with a lot of watches, but considering how important the Explorer watch is and that the 39s are so few versus the 36s, it seems like that's something you may want to brush up on, sir. Just my saying. So there was this one dealer there who really took a shine to me. He liked me. He's like a very helpful person, more than just a salesperson. So I'm going to go back to him tomorrow and just double check which ones he had, because he had two, and I'm pretty sure they're both the Mark 1 dial. I just, walking on that concrete, my back was killing me, and my allergies are totally bugging. But all in all, a great day one. I'm probably going to go back for round 2, but I'm going to be a little more laser focused tomorrow, because today it was all about, all right, get my feet wet. I'm the newbie here, such and such, just kind of chill, get to know, see what it's like. It's the exact same feeling as going to the watch jewelry district in LA, or the Diamond District in New York. If you've ever been to those, you got to be careful. You got to watch yourself. These people, they do this as their job all day long. It is not for the casual observer. But if you go to either of those districts, be on high alert. Watch spotters are either following people or following people home. And there was even warnings about that around these types of shows, that there are whole syndicates who prowl these places. They're mostly looking to get after the dealers who have stock, but even I was like wondering, oh, can I wear a watch to a watch show? Nah, they don't want to talk watches, they want to sell watches. So we'll save the watch talk for tonight. So that's that for day one. Hope you enjoyed it. And like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions about the event, maybe I didn't cover it, put it down in the comments, and I'll see about getting back to you. All right, take care. Have a great one.